All right, welcome all of you, and I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share with you my lifetime work, practically 50 years. And I'm very especially happy to talk to Australia. Years ago, I used to come to Australia every month, and I was told that some of my clients, actually my friends, maybe in the audience, if you can raise your hand so I can see you, I miss you. Ian Gandel, are you there? And Jack Cowan, are you there? Oh, great. Well, I worked a lot in Australia, and I look forward coming back because I love that country a lot. Well, some of you already heard me in the past, Jack and Ian. Hopefully I will show you some new material. What is this Adizes methodology all about? What is it? What is it that I got? Right now, it will be 20 honorary doctorates about it. And yesterday I was told I get from the International Academy of Management Lifetime Award in October. What is it? What happened here? Here is what it is. I'm giving you the summary of the methodology. And what's important to say is that this is not a methodology developed by doing some controlled experiment in behavioral science or interviewing 35 executives, finding their experiences and putting them together into a book. No. This methodology was developed with a lot of scars on my knees. Because years ago, when I started consulting, I found out something very interesting. And it is, consultants give you advice, but that the problem of implementation is left open. Then I realized I was teaching at Stanford, Columbia, UCLA. We don't have one course on implementation. And the real success, ladies and gentlemen, is implementation. It's better to have a mediocre strategy that you implement than have an outstanding strategy you don't implement or implement badly. The secret of success is in the implementation. And we don't teach it in business schools. And most consulting firms still claim they know how to do implementation, but they really don't. Or they create a lot of conflict, a lot of bloodshed through the corridors. So I gave up my university professorship, lifetime appointment, which was a big sacrifice, and went to the real world to say, how can we implement efficiently? Without bloodshed, without destructive conflict. How can we do that? And that was the purpose of this methodology. Working with companies and learning, trying, learning. And I can share with you that I'm proud to say we succeeded. We have taken a company called, now it's called Wonderful. It used to be called Roll International. And you know the company because they own Fiji Water. They're the biggest farm in the United States. And you will see in the testimonials when Stuart Resnick says, we grew from $12 million to $4 billion thanks to the Adizes methodology. And Domino Pizza, Jack Cowan, we took it from $150 million on the verge of bankruptcy to what, when he sold the company, was $4 billion. And any others, and they're all in the testimonials with the real name of the president of the company, a real company, so it's not anonymous in Peoria somewhere. So it's a tested methodology, what I'm going to talk to you about. It's not a theory. Tested, it's medicine, it's called empirically tested methodology. What is it? We all know there is nothing new if I say there is change. And also it's not new because it started with a big bang. It has been going on forever and ever. So what happens when there is change? Right now we have change, trade war, China, United States. I mean, we are having so many changes going on every day. You wonder what's new. Whenever there is change, what is change really? That something new is happening, something new. Some new law, some new economic situation, some new technology, something new. And because it's new, you have to make a decision what to do. You cannot repeat a decision because it's new. You have to decide. And because it's new, there is uncertainty. Should I go left? Should I go right? Should I stay? Should I go forward? What the hell should I do? That's why we scratch our head when there is change and we say, wow, we have a problem here. What should we do? And the problem is uncertainty. When you look into something new, there is uncertainty. But deciding is not good enough. Many of us decide to go on a diet. So we decided. Nothing happens. Or we decide and then we stop. The secret, as I said in the beginning, is implementation. But there is another problem with implementation. There is risk. It might not work. Thus, whenever there is change, there are problems. And what's happening, which is new, is that our rate of change is accelerating. Accelerating, like never in the history of mankind. Technologically, economically, socially, you name it. And because change is accelerating, problems are accelerating. Our grandparents were not as rich as we, but they were happy. They had more free time. Our standard of living has gone up, but our quality of life has gone down. We are stressed. We are running from one problem to the other. Before you finish one problem, the next problem is being born. We are stressed. Show me a more developed country and I will show you more stressed people. So what to do? What to do? But you know something? Problems are really not problems. Problems are also opportunities. Why? Because if change is happening, it's not happening against you particularly. It's happening to the whole country. It's happening to your industry, which means the first one that will know how to handle change faster and better wins the war. And your competition is left behind. You will go forward. I'll give you an example. I'm now in Mexico, and the business community here is very much worried about the new president called AMLO, because he has these socialistic tendencies. Some of them worry that maybe it's going to become Venezuela, and they're paralyzed. And I tell them, don't. By the way, I have a book about it, small brochure called How to Manage in Time of Crisis. Strongly recommend you look into it. No, don't do that. This is your best time now. Why? Because when everybody else is paralyzed, you move forward. And what does it move forward? Not in the marketplace, in cleaning up the house. Cleaning up the organization structure, reward systems, information systems, supply chain, reward systems, things you did not have time before as you were running, as you were trying to conquer the market. Now, leave the outside alone. Look at the inside. Because, hear me well, no company should grow like this. Because if you grow like this, eventually it will fall. Why? Because building a company is like building a high rise. You build a building with 3 floors. Now the market is very good. You add the 4th and the 5th and the 6th floor. What's going to happen? It's going to collapse. Why? Because the foundations are for 3 floors. So what do you need to do? Grow, 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 grow. Stop. Fix the inside. Fix the foundations. What does it mean? Do we have the right mission? Do we have the right strategy? Do we have the right structure to deliver the strategy? Do we have the right information that tells us how the strategy is working? Do we have the right reward system? Do we have the right people? Do we have the right training? Fix it. Now the foundation is stronger. Go up again. Foundation is stronger. Go up again. That's how Stuart Resnick built the $4 billion company from 12 million. Look at my website. I'm not selling you goodies. So whoever is focusing not only on the outside, but also on the inside will win the war. Then you will have sustainable growth. And that this methodology is not looking at the outside. There are many consulting firms that will help you with strategic planning. Do it. We look at the inside. How to make the machine work perfectly well. How? Well, I already said. You have to decide and you have to implement your decisions. Some people stand at the intersection, which is something new, and they don't know what to do. Should I go left? Should I go right? Should I go? And they say, you know what? I don't have the information. Let me wait. I'm not going to decide. You know what? They just decided. What did they decide? To do nothing. That was the decision. Whether you realize it or not, when there is change, you are constantly deciding by default, even when you're not deciding. And maybe the decision to do nothing could be the worst of them all. As somebody smarter than me already said, even if you're on the right road, if you don't move, a truck will run you over. So what do I do? Let me start to tell you what to do. And remember, problems are not problems. They're opportunities and a problem. Or menaces, or threats. So whenever you look at something, don't say problem, say or threat. It's an opportunity and a threat. It's an opportunity if I do something, and it's a threat if I don't do anything, because somebody else is going to do it. Okay, how do I address or threats? I have to decide and implement. Now here, this is very, very, very important what I'm going to tell you now. Please. It is like having two books. One book tells you how to make good decisions. The other book tells you how to implement decisions. Don't confuse the books because they're incompatible. If you use the instructions how to make good decisions, in implementation, you will have a disaster. If you use a book on how to implement well, in making a decisions, you will have a disaster. Two different books. What are they? Would you agree with me that nobody is perfect? And by the way, if you have doubts, ask your spouse. She will tell you, you're not that perfect. And because nobody is perfect, there is no person, no executive, no prime minister, no parent, no wife. There's not even a perfect flower. After a day or two, it's already not perfect because of change. Since there is no ideal executive that will always make the right decisions at the right time and never fail, does not exist. What do we need to make good decisions? Because an ideal executive does not exist, does it mean that all companies will be badly managed? No. What do we need? A complementary team. You are strong in my weaknesses, and I'm strong in your weaknesses, which is, by the way, called a marriage. Look at the person you married. You married somebody who is significantly different than you are, complements you. You alone cannot raise children. The children will suffer. That's why you will say, this child needs a mother in the house if you're a divorced man. In reverse, if she is raising a child alone, she will say, this child needs a man in the house. I cannot be a man and a woman. I cannot be the masculine and feminine energy together. Marriage is a complementary team. Raising a company, building a company is like raising a child. You need a complementary team. That's why we have to work together. And we learn from each other. And we listen to each other. That's called democracy. We have opposition and we have liberals and we have conservatives. That's exactly what we need. A complementary government, a complementary team, a complementary marriage, a complementary everything, by the way, if you pay attention to the world. But what do we need for implementation? God forbid you do implementation in a democracy. What you get is chaos, anarchy. You're moving at the speed of mud. Once a decision is made, we go into dictatorship. Enough, thank you very much, do it or buy a ticket to Latin America. Done. This methodology I call democratship. Democracy in decision making, dictatorship in implementation. And that's how I believe you should raise your little children too. You listen to them, but then you say enough, go to sleep. Discipline. It's easier said than done. Because now you have a split personality. You're open-minded and then you're closed-minded. And you're open-minded again, closed-minded again. Wow. That's why I like a complementary team from a different angle. CEO, big horizon, thinks, change, listens, and then makes a decision. COO carries the shop. No more talk, do it. We need a complementary team too. From different angles. So for good decision making, for reducing uncertainty, we need a good complementary team. Doesn't have to be 4, can be 2, but not less than 2. When I diagnose a company, I look, are you running it alone or do you have somebody whom you trust with your right hand and you talk a lot with each other? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? But whenever you have a complementary team, what's going to happen? Conflict. Why? Because we think differently. The conservative usually thinks about the past, from the past to the present. The creative, entrepreneurial looks from the present to the future. These entrepreneurial types don't remember what they had for breakfast. Like the founder of CNN says, all I remember is tomorrow. The conservative, thoughtful, linear thinker will tell you what happened 20 years ago one Friday afternoon. Because they pay attention to the details. And it's going to be conflict. They see the world differently. They have different priorities. They advance at different speed. And this conflict can be destructive. Look at a marriage. Just look at whom you married. They're complementary. Do you have conflict? I believe so. God forbid you don't have conflict. Your marriage is dead. And that conflict can be pretty bad. Can lead to divorce. We don't communicate. We don't understand each other. Can't take it anymore. The pain is too big. Same thing with partnership in the company. They started together, down the road, they split. They cannot stand each other anymore. So what do we do? Ladies and gentlemen, conflict is like a lot of water going through the river. You can make a dam and make electricity, or you can have a flood and kill a lot of people and destroy a whole city. Which means conflict can be destructive, but it can be constructive too. In certain marriages, after a good fight, they have better sex at night. They love each other even more. in another marriage, same fight, exactly the same fight, and they're asking for a divorce. What is the difference? What is the difference? The difference is if there is mutual respect. And there is something else which will be the next point. Do you respect my difference of opinion? Are you willing to listen to what I have to say? Are you open-minded to learn? Maybe I have a point which you don't see. And the same thing in reverse. People don't mind if you don't agree with them. They mind if you don't let them explain what they think. If you do not respect them for their differences. And what do you need for implementation? To reduce risk. You need a common interest of all the parties or the stakeholders necessary for efficient implementation. Why trust? Because there is no common interest. Like there is no ideal executive. Utopian thinking. You know, we train individuals in business schools trying to create ideal executives. Cannot be done. Should not be done. We need to talk about collaborative leadership, not about leadership. And by the same token, there is no common interest. Guys, don't dream. We started common interest when we got married. Down the road, we developed different interests. Same thing in a company. We started together. You have children, I don't have children. My children want to continue the company. Your children don't want to continue the company. Guys, life is changed, for goodness sake. I changed my anticipations. I changed my needs. I changed. So what do we do? And that lack of common interest can create a lot of conflict. Destructive conflict, unless there is trust. And what is trust? How important is to you? More than to me. We'll do it your way. Next time when it's very important to me, you'll do it my way. And I trust you that you will reciprocate. That is trust. I trust that you have my interest in your heart as well. So when I negotiate with you, I'm not only looking for my interest, but I'm very much concerned about your interest. That's how a family should be run. God forbid, and every member of the family doesn't give a damn about the family. He takes care of his own interests. You have a problem. I think about you as well as I think about me. I care about you as well as I care about myself. We care about each other. Then I trust you. Then I can turn my back to you because I know if you'll stab me in my back and give me pain, you will share the pain because we are connected. With feelings, with love, with caring. So when all the stakeholders trust each other, although there is lack of common interest at this point in time, when your labor union will trust you, they will cooperate because you know you'll be true to your word. Down the road, you will take care of them. You want to take care of them like you take care of yourself. So what makes conflict constructive? Mutual trust and respect. I've been asked by several prime ministers, and I worked the last quite a few number of years with prime ministers a lot. I kind of moved up in my practice. And whenever they have a crisis, they say, Dr. Adizes, what do you recommend? And they expect me to give them some economic model of what to do, fiscal policy, I don't know, or a monetary policy. You know what I tell them? Whatever you do, don't lose the trust and the respect of the people. And my biggest complaint and criticism of Trump, I don't care how good his ideas are, is destroying mutual trust and respect, which is the biggest asset America had. The biggest asset you have in your company, listen to me carefully, is not your technology. It is not how much money you have. It's not how much protected IP you have. It's not how big, stronger you are in the marketplace. Trust me, it's not. It's all passive. You know what's your biggest asset? Your culture. Your company culture. Why? Let me tell you the secret of success of any system. Just one little thing which hides everything. Explains why people are successful, why some people are not. Why family is successful, why they are not. Why company is successful, why not. Why countries are successful, why not. I'll tell you what it is. Success is a function of a little formula. External integration divided by internal disintegration. That's all. What is external integration? This is all your strategic planning, market planning, penetration of the market. What does it really mean? Take all the books of marketing, take all the books of strategic planning, cook them, and find out what is the essence. You know what the essence is? To match, to integrate your capabilities with the necessities of the marketplace, which are changing. If you can match it, capabilities to necessities, to demand, to needs, you're successful in the marketplace. And the whole marketing planning and whole strategic planning is to find out where do we put our capacities, capabilities, knowledge to use in the marketplace. And it's measurable. You know what's measurable? How? Repeat sales. Are they coming back? Because if they're not coming back, you're not satisfying their needs. That's external integration, integrating yourself with the external environment. And what is internal disintegration? All the fighting, all the rumors, all the backstabbing, all the misunderstandings, all the pain we have inside the company when we do not respect or are being respected, when we don't trust or we are not being trusted. And why does this formula predict success? Because energy, we know from physics, is fixed at any point in time. There is no endless energy. Even the most productive person in the world has only 24 hours a day. Fixed. Fixed. And when you have internal disintegration, it takes precedent over external integration. If you fight with your wife for breakfast, you come to work on your knees till noontime. You cannot work. And if there is fight within the company, you cannot work. I had examples, quite a few in my 50 years of experience as a consultant, where the company has a technology. Oh my God, innovative technology, the best in the world, honestly. The market is dying for the product. Investors are begging to invest. The company is failing. How can it be? The partners are fighting. Like that famous guy from Omaha says, even the best business is bad business with a bad partner. You go through a divorce, you cannot work, the company will be failing because all your energy is going into the divorce. Internal disintegration takes precedent over external integration. I would recommend to you an exercise. Please, look at your calendar for the last 3 months. What percentage of it is waste of time on internal disintegration? On problems of internal disintegration. And that will tell you how successful you're going to be. But now notice, in order to minimize internal disintegration, you have to devote some time to keep that internal disintegration from happening. It's like calling maintenance, taking the car to the garage so it does not break down. going annually to the doctor to check you so you don't develop a disease you don't know about. Same thing is true for a company. Adizes methodology recommends annual checkup, even if you feel good. Because annual checkup can discover things you don't know. You think everything is okay, but it's really not. And then do something to close the holes, to fix it preventatively. Because a problem that's not addressed is a crisis in waiting. And when do we act? When we have a problem. When it really hurts. Some people need a small heart attack, not big, small heart attack, to go and start the diet, to lose weight and stop smoking. Otherwise, they will never do it. How sad. The role of management is to minimize internal disintegration so energy can be devoted to external integration. That's why companies grow. You do this to minimize internal disintegration. Now you go for external integration. Wow, we grew too fast. We grew too much. Fix the inside again. Go up. Fix the inside again. And you will be very good when you will do both of them simultaneously. And that's what the Adizes program does. We said to you, devote 2 days a month. 2 days a month to fix the inside. And the other 20 days to fight the outside. Doesn't have to be 50-50. But you must devote time to the inside. Not to manage day to day, to change. What do we need to change? Because if the outside is changing, you better change the inside too. I'm now in Guadalajara. I'm sorry I cannot show you where I live. I live on a penthouse, 17th floor. In front of me is a big shopping center. And Ian, I told your father to come and see it. It's unbelievable. I saw many shopping centers. These guys are really doing the right thing. You know what they're doing? I've been here for a year. All the time they're constructing something, moving something, changing something. At the beginning, I was getting upset. When are you going to stop digging and changing? And then I realized, never. It's always exciting. It's always something new. It's always a new store which another store was out. Constantly, it is exciting to see new things. Across the street, somebody else is building another shopping center. Will fail. I'm telling you now. It's boring. Internet, we eat them for breakfast. Continuously fix the inside so the energy can be devoted to the outside. And I have no time to tell you about this program. There are 11 steps. If you do all the 11 steps, you're a Rolls Royce. Continuously. At the beginning, we will do it with you. Then we will transfer the technology to you, so you do it. We are like therapists. I don't want you to be in therapy more than a year or two. From there on, you can cope with the changing environment by yourself. That is our goal. We are proud of every one of our clients that graduated. Then they come to conventions to be updated. And love to see them. And what does it mean to fix the inside? Let me tell you something I was concerned about, or I was debating about for quite a while. I was wondering why in Russia, the Russians make a hole in the ice in the middle of the winter, jump into the freezing water, come out and they're invigorated. Wow. Or in Finland, I hear, they go to the sauna, sweat, go out, roll in the snow, go back to the sauna. This is an enormous amount of change. Cold, hot, cold, hot. If I did this, I'm sure I would have got pneumonia and died. There is no question about it. For me, change, guys, in my case, if I move from a room which is air conditioned outside, which is hot day, then back to the air condition, invariably I catch a cold. I start sniffing. I get sick. Small change from an air conditioned room to the outside, to the garden. And these guys jump to the freezing water and feel invigorated. What the hell is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. They are used to change. They train their body to continuously change. And what does it mean to change? To be healthy. This is my latest insight. There is a lot of literature. What is the purpose of a business organization or any organization? University, non-for-profit, I don't care. Any organization. Government too. And for business organizations, the economy has got us into a hole, I believe. And I'm an economist, unfortunately. And they say the goal is return on investment, earnings per share, the profits in the long run. Sustainable profits in the long run. I have news for you, wrong. How did it happen, by the way, is because they can measure it. And good economists are econometricians, mathematical models from here till doomsday. So if they cannot measure it, it does not exist. For me, profit is a result of being healthy. Because if you're healthy, you'll be able to deal with the changing environment and you will make a nice sum of money. Profit is not the goal. The goal is to have a healthy organization. I'm pretty sure when you were a young man or woman, your mother will tell you the most important thing is that you're healthy. How is your health? How is your health? And now that we get old, that is the first sentence we ask our friends. How are you today? How is your health? Why? Because if you're not healthy, you cannot handle the market. You're not healthy, you cannot handle the opportunities and the threats. You don't have the energy. And what makes the disease? Disintegration. All diseases come from disintegration. The parts are not working together, whatever functions they have to perform. And what is the solution to disintegration? Integration. Fix the inside and integrate with the outside. You cannot integrate with the outside, get a better market share, get more profitability if you are falling apart inside. The purpose of the Adizes methodology, with its 11 steps, which is a program, systematized program, which will take 2 days a month. Now, if you have bigger problems, it will take 3 days a month. And if you're really doing very well, it will go to 1 day a month, no less. You have to devote time to fix yourself ongoingly in a systematized way so that we can transfer the technology to you and you do it yourself. And what are we doing? We are developing, nurturing, reinforcing a culture of mutual trust and respect. That's it. Because when you have mutual trust and respect, internal disintegration goes down, energy gets freed for external integration, and we beat the hell out of the competition. Because we have more energy, that's why. Simple as that. We're wasting energy, we are using energy. Now the next question. All right, Dr. Adizes, I think you made sense. We need a culture of mutual trust and respect, not only in the company, in a marriage. The day there is no more trust and there is no mutual respect, we are roommates. This is not a marriage anymore. Whether we get divorced or not is irrelevant. We are roommates. The day a country loses mutual trust and respect between the ethnic groups or between those that have it and they don't have it, the country is going to go into turbulence and the energy will be lost and the country will suffer. I can assure you, if you take a table, countries, and then those with high culture of mutual trust and respect, which United States had, it's losing it. That's why America is going down. America is going down. And you will see high mutual trust and respect go down to the lowest mutual trust and respect. And then look at the economic growth or success, you will find perfect correlation. Same thing with the company, perfect correlation. I strongly recommend you do the research and find out. The biggest asset is your culture. And our job is not to solve the problems, period. Is to help you solve the problems in a way that you learn how to do it with mutual trust and respect. We use the problem solving, the restructuring of the company, redefinition of the mission, and how do you do the budgets correctly? How do you do the reward system correctly? That's not the goal. It's a vehicle to develop mutual trust and respect. And what does it mean? To heal the company. Do you realize that the word heal comes from the word to make it a whole? And what is whole? United, integrated. Like psychologists say, wholeness or illness. And our job is to make you a whole. And thus to make you healthy. And to teach our clients how to remain healthy. Our success is when a client gets used to continuously change without considering as a threat, but as an ongoing opportunity to beat the competition. How to do it? And I spent years, trial and error, until I found the formula. And those of you that know PAI, it follows PAEI. You will have mutual trust and respect if the following 4 factors exist in the company. First, and by the way, it applies to marriage. I spent the last 2 years publishing a book called The Power of Opposites. How to apply Adizes methodology, which was successful in companies beyond belief, to family. Because a family is also an organization. And it's also a business. You need to have a budget, capital budget and operational budget. And you have to have a structure. Who does what? And you have forum for decision making. Who really decides? The days when the men decided and the woman said, yes, sir, are gone. Well, how do we decide together? Who really decides? And now the children are taking over, by the way. In many families, the children decide. So I wrote that book because I found out the principles that I'm speaking to you apply to business, to personal life. You have to be together too. You have to reduce your internal disintegration, called noise in your head. How much noise do you have in your head? Because when you have noise in your head, your eyes are not looking out, they're looking inside. You do not see the opportunities. You do not see the threats. You're busy inside your head. So this methodology applies to person, family, business, and country. So what do you need? First, you need a collaborative process of decision making. How can we work together when we have different interests and different styles? Wow. How? I'll tell you how. I found out there is no mutual trust and respect unless there are rules. What to do, what not to do. And we need rules. So I spent 50 years of my life trying to find out which rules will make it happen. For instance, just to give you for instance, there are 4 different types in my methodology. There's a complementary team is usually 4. Could be 2, usually 4. You have the producer. The guy says, let's go and do it, enough. Enough is talking, come on guys. What do we need to do now? Move on. Is the producer. Task-oriented, now-oriented. Don't bullshit me about the future, and I'm not interested in the past. What do we need to do now? Let's go and do it. These are the guys who shoot first, aim later. Let's do it, we'll talk about it later. Doers. Then you have the bureaucrat, the administrator, linear thinker, all the details have to be in place. You have to be on time. Don't leave before the time expires. You know, oh my God, they manage by manuals. Everything is systematized. Everything is organized. They run a very well-controlled disaster. The company is going broke, but on time. And then you have the entrepreneurial type. Creative, sees the horizon, exciting, full with ideas, but the feet are not on the ground. That's why many of them fail. They're very exciting, but the feet are not on the ground. These are the guys who tell you, it's too late for you to disagree with me. I already changed my mind. Do you realize Trump? In the same sentence, he says 2 opposing ideas. He opposes himself in the same sentence because he thinks while he's talking, while the administrator will not open his mouth until he's sure what he's going to say. They're different. And the 4th one is an integrator. Come on, guys, let's work together. Let's understand each other. Let's not fight, you know. Look for harmony. We need all the 4, but they need to work together. They have a different approach to time. The doer wants it now. The bureaucrat, the administrator tells you, no. It will take 2 years to make it happen because he has to look at all the details. The entrepreneurial type says, it should have been done yesterday. What's wrong with you guys? And the integrator says, guys, let's understand each other. We need discipline, how to work together. And for you to remember this, I'm using a song by Garfinkel, Simon and Garfinkel. Don't walk ahead of me because I might not follow. Don't walk behind me because I might not lead. Walk beside me and be my friend. We teach you, it takes 4 days, by the way, to teach this. How to walk together. How to walk together. Don't outpace me. Let's walk together. And that must be a discipline. When there is a discipline, all participant sports have discipline. Even wars have discipline. What do you do with the people that you captured? Our problem today is that we do not understand the rules of the terrorists. We know the rules, but they have different rules and we still didn't find out what they are. That's why they're called terrorists. So we need discipline. So we teach in a company how to work together and come to conclusions at the end that everybody supports. Believe me, everybody supports. Proven. I've had companies tell me, Dr. Adizes, if you solve this problem, which we've been fighting for God knows how many years. I can tell you. Norton Aviation is a company that produces the Phantom, the jets. They had a problem, I can tell you, because 15 years passed by, 20 already, more. They always produce planes with two engines. Because at the time that Northrop, the founder of Norton Aviation, the engines were not reliable enough, so he made two engines just so the plane will not crash. He died, but it became a religion of the company. Two engine planes. Who was buying it? Developing countries where there are problems with maintaining airplanes. The United States Air Force was not buying it. They were missing the biggest client because the technology developed now, the engines are much more reliable. And I said, Dr. Adizes, we have been trying to change this. It's so embedded in our consciousness, in our culture, impossible to change. So let me show you how to change. And we changed. And F something, I don't know if 11, 13, 16, one of those is the first aeroplane with one engine that Northrop produced. And as a prize, by the way, I'm proud to say, they took me to Fontainebleau and flew me on the plane with 1.9 Mach and 5 Gs. And I have a picture of it in my bathroom. And so we solved those problems by having systematized process of working together, which you can apply in your family life, which you can apply in your personal life. There must be a systematized way, organized way, disciplined way of organizing your thoughts so you can come to conclusions that make sense. That's number one. Then you apply this methodology of decision making to define jointly stakeholders what really is the mission of the company. Now don't tell me, oh, we have mission, Dr. Adizes. I believe you don't have the right mission. Why? Because usually companies have a mission on the wall which applies to any company. Our purpose is to serve society responsibly and take care of our stakeholders, blah, blah. It applies to anybody. If the mission you have applies to anybody else, wrong mission. It has to be particular to you now for the next 3 years. And every year you should review it. Why? Because there was change. So we teach how to do that. You need to have a common vision, common mission, common values. The worst is to have some executive who is very productive, by the way, makes a lot of money for you, but it does not share your values and vision. You know what's going to happen? You make money, but you lose as much on the internal conflicts. Not worth it. Same thing in a family. Just imagine that your spouse has a totally different vision what a family is. Be married now. So you need discipline, collaborative decision-making process. You need common vision and values. What else do you need? A diversified, diversity, organizational structure. What does it mean? What does it mean? Well, I already told you, we need a complementary team with different styles. Well, the structure has to be also differentiated for the different styles. Example, marketing is different from sales. Too many people call, I don't know, you look at marketing, I call them transvestites. They look like a woman, you take a little bit clothes off, up, it's a man. It's called marketing. Analyze it, it's not marketing, it's sales support. All they're doing is selling, supporting sales. Marketing has to be entrepreneurial. They should not be looking at today. They should be looking at the future. Where is the world going? Where is our market going? Where are the competition going? What's going to happen out there? And thus, what kind of a products do we need? At what price should we sell it? what channels of distribution we should have to do like that. How do we promote it, which are the 4 P's of marketing. For the future. How about sales? Sales is a doer. Now, where are the sales? What is the purchase order? Don't tell me, future, blah, blah. What is the sales? It's a different role. And these two should be in conflict. If they're not in conflict, you don't have a good company. Because marketing will change and sales don't make waves. We have too much work to do. The mistake company do, they put the two together. Vice president for sales and marketing. Bingo. Listen, you will never, I've never seen it. VP, vice president for marketing and sales, never. It's always vice president for sales and marketing. You know why? When you put it together, sales is more important than marketing. And then marketing becomes a sales support function. Doing little brochures, analyzing how the market is behaving, doing some marketing research, and supporting sales. And what's happening for the long run? You're not changing enough, taking into account the long run. And God forbid, you have R&D, product engineering, product development, together with manufacturing. Manufacturing is now, efficiency. New product development is future. If you put them together, I will tell you what engineering is doing. Maintenance, because they're under the thumb of production. And the last mistake, on which I always lose the battle, by the way. Most of the time I lose the battle on this one, because those guys are far too powerful. It is to put finance and accounting together. Accounting looks from the past to the present. That's why the financial statements say, as of 31st of December. They're not looking at the future, they're looking at the past. Why? Because they have to be precise. When you look at the future, you're not precise by definition. Finance should be looking at the future. Where are we going? How do we finance it? Where is the money going to come from? Do we go for equity financing? Do we go for bonds? Do we go for loans? How do we do it? And are we financially healthy? They use the accounting data to analyze the health of the company. You think, oh, no, espera. Más poquito. They usually put them together. And the disaster is, if the CFO, who is accounting, is very creative, then accounting can be very creative too. And then you really don't have the right information. And if the accounting guy is a CFO, then you are liquid like a fish. So much money because they're very conservative. Split it. Split it. An organization structure is to be organized correctly. I beg you, don't structure your company yourself. Even I have difficulty structuring my institute alone. You know why? There is a Hebrew expression, no prisoner frees himself from his own chains. You need somebody else to help you. I'm not saying use Adizes. Use whomever you trust. But use somebody, because you're too close. You cannot see the picture when you're in the picture. You know too much. You know the people. Say, we have to change. Yeah, but Michael will not accept it. Yeah, but this, and what ends up? You started with designing a horse, you end up having a camel. Again, what are the conditions? Why structure is so important? Because if you are overlapping, the responsibilities are not clear, we step on each other's toes, and trust and respect goes down the drain. So 3 of them so far: common vision, values, disciplined collaborative decision-making, and diversified functional organizational structure. And what is the 4th one? Have the right people. Very important. even the best structure, the best disciplined decision making, the fantastic common vision and values will not be work if you have the wrong human capital. And what is the right people? If mutual trust and respect is so critical, so important, you want to have people in your company that you trust and respect. And they trust and respect you. You don't want to have a bad apple. The best engineer, incredible engineer, genius, indispensable, but he does not get along with people. Gets everybody mad, spends all the time, he creates a lot of havoc. You know what should you do with him? Give him a title, put him in a cage. Anytime you need information, give him a banana, take the information, but don't let him in the corridors. A good leader is not what you know, not even what you do, because other people should be doing, is what you are. Do the people respect you? Do the people trust you? Look at my hand, please. Which finger is the most important finger? Many people believe this finger, pointing finger. This is true for a small company. You don't participate with your son, 3-year-old kid, should he go to sleep or not. You tell him, go to sleep and that's it. Go to sleep. But when the child is not 3, but 40 years old, if you do this, we are in trouble. Which finger is the most important one? This one. Do you know this is not a finger? It's not called a finger, it's called a thumb. In some languages, it's called handmaker, because this is the only quote-unquote finger that works with every finger. It makes a hand. If you don't have a hand, you don't have a finger. If you don't have a thumb, you don't have a finger. If you don't have a thumb, you don't have a hand. A good leader is this, guys. You don't do, you make other people to do. How? Together. Together. If you go to the Middle East, this is called a khamsa. Women carry it on their chest as a blessing, or put it to the entrance to the house as a blessing. This is a blessing. Go to any church of any denomination. The saints are standing there in the pictures like this. What the hell is going on here? What is this? You know what this is? Be different and be together. Be different, but be together. That is a blessing. Some people say to be together, we have to be the same. Look at this. Now we are together. But to be together, we must be the same. You know what this is called? Communism. Fascism. And look at my hand, it's paralyzed. That's what happened to those dictatorial regimes. We don't accept diversity that are not democratic. And what is a curse? In the Middle East, when they curse you, they do this in your face. Now look at the difference. The difference between a blessing and a curse is only 2 inches. 2 inches. Be different, not together. God help you in a marriage if that is true. God help you in a country if it's true. God help you if your company is that way. The trade unions against you, management against management, management against owners, owners against owners. Good luck. Good luck, guys. The Adizes methodology is to take a company which is like this and to make it like this and make the leader a thumb. That's it. That is it. Because then you have a blessing. And it's not easy. I don't going to lie to you, it's not easy. Because in order to work together, although we are different, we need to have tolerance for each other. To tolerate that we are different. It's not easy. But in order to be tolerant, you need to have patience. Patience to listen to somebody who is not agreeing with you. To be tolerant of somebody who does not agree with you, that has different opinions, to have patience to listen to them, although there is time pressure left and right, is very painful. And many people avoid that. I can't take it. I hate it, including me. It's not natural. Natural is to do it by myself. In Hebrew, the word patience, tolerance, and pain have the same root. That's how I discovered this. Same root, SVL. So what we are teaching you guys, if you join Adizes, is how to breathe when you're in pain. And eventually, it will not be painful anymore. It's like exercising. At the beginning, you're stiff and it hurts. Later on, you say, wow, I love it. But it will take some pain. I will lie to you if I tell you there is no pain, it will be all exciting. Not at all. Probably the first 3 months, you're going to be wondering why the hell you got involved. But it's like good medicine. It's like good exercise. You don't like it at the beginning, you're sore, your muscles hurt because you're waking them up. And then what happens? You get addicted to it. Especially if you're an IT company, high-tech company. This is a great advantage to you. Because your biggest asset are the people. If they leave, you're in trouble. And there's a very high turnover in IT and high-tech. But with Adizes, that they got used to this new culture, people don't want to leave. We have examples where they offer them a bigger salary across the street. They say, I'm not going there. I love where I am. With a culture where I'm being listened, and I listen to others, and we have camaraderie, and we support each other, and we trust each other. Why the hell am I going to go somewhere else just for money? That's how you keep your people, guys. That's how you keep your assets. Let me summarize. The purpose of management is to make the organization healthy. It's like being a parent. Your role as a parent is to be sure your children are healthy, mentally, physically healthy. And if they're healthy, they will succeed, whatever they do. In order to be healthy, the company needs a process, needs a culture of integration. And there is no integration without mutual trust and respect. And to develop mutual trust and respect, we need common vision, values, collaborative decision-making process, highly disciplined. We need a functionally diversified organizational structure. And we need mature people. People that command respect and trust. If we do that, internal disintegration is minimal. It will never be zero. Don't be utopian. It will never be zero. But it will diminish to a reasonable level that can be handled. And then all the energy goes to the external environment, to fight competition, to get new clients, to serve clients, to make the clients happy, to make the clients come back, and you are on your way to sustainable, profitable company. Thank you very much. Questions? What makes a good leader? And if mutual trust and respect is so critical, then you want a person that commands respect and trust. Now the next question is, what kind of a person is that? Well, let me give you the characteristics. First of all, He knows who he is, he knows who he is not. He has a very relatively clear idea, who am I? I know my demons, I know my weaknesses, and I can live with them. Because if I accept my own weaknesses, I can accept your weaknesses. And if I don't accept mine, I'm going to fight yours tooth and nail, because fighting your tooth and nail, I'm fighting my own. I know who I am. I know my strength, I know my weakness. Thus, I'm capable of finding somebody to compliment me. And I'm not scared that they're different. I even appreciate their difference. I tell the people that work with me, I love my associates, those associates that beat me in my argument. Say, Dr. Adizes, no, let me tell you why. And I listen, and I said, you know what, you're right. Wow, I love those people. Why? They compliment me. They enrich me. We make a better decision because of them. By the way, not all people are good. There are people who have something to say, good. And there are people who have to say something. They just waste your time. So you want people that have something to say, which means they teach you, they compliment you. For that, they have to know who they are, strengths and weaknesses. They will work on their strengths and weaknesses, but they're not paralyzed. They can find a complementary person and not be scared of that. Then they know how to listen, are not scared of differences. And they know how to resolve a conflict in a highly constructive way. I like executives that know how to shut up. When the company is small, or you're at the bottom of the hierarchy, your mouth is big, your ears are small. Because you have an image what you want to do with the company, and you're telling people what to do, and you're difficult to work with because you have the vision and that's what's going to be. And nobody, it's like having a child, a baby. You're not going to let other people start playing with your baby. This is my baby, I'm telling you what you're going to do with the baby. But now when it's big and mature, wow, wait a moment. The ratio of ears to mouth have to change. The mouth becomes smaller and smaller, the ears become bigger and bigger. Why? Because you don't know what's going on. You better listen. And don't talk until you hear everything. And that's mistake of Trump. His ears are small, his mouth is enormous. What kind of a person is that? And I found out in psychotherapy, psychology, they're called self-actualized people or mature. That's what's called mature. They're not, childish. They're not yet 16 years old, fighting Papa. But they know what they are, they know what's right, know how to take pain, how to handle it. That's kind of a spouse you want too, by the way. That are even keel. They have a strength and they have a weakness, but you can work with them. That's why I call them mature or self-actualized. Not just any person with a style. It's not enough. Or you might call it emotional intelligence high. I use a mission analogy, a certain analogy to make the point, so maybe you will remember. You probably remember, I don't know whether they're still showing it on TV, but there used to be a program called Mission Impossible. And they will get together, they will turn a tape recording, and the tape recording will be like this, always. There is this threat, I don't know, whatever it is, nuclear war or something. They tell you what it is, the threat. You are members of a special forces. Your job is to eliminate the threat And if they catch you, we will disown you. Now, what do you have there? What is who you are? What is the threat? What are the values? And what do you need to do about it? That is for me a mission. And this methodology, when we work with a client, which might take 2 or 3 days, maybe 2 days, it doesn't take too long. The whole team sit together, we say, okay, who are we? What business are we in? What business are we in? By the way, it's not an easy question to answer. When I changed Bank of America around, which I did 1982, I asked a question that they were appalled for the prices, for the fees we pay. You are asking this question. I asked him, what's a bank? You tell me you're a bank. What's a bank? By the end of the discussion, we realized bank is an outdated institution. Why? They take savings and give loans. Savings and loans are dead. And I was proven right because years later it was a multi-billion-dollar failure of the whole savings and loan banks. Why? Because you have a competition on the savings sides. People put it in art, in stock, in real estate. Who puts money in the saving account? And you have a competition on the demand side. Insurance companies give loans, private equity funds. You can do other partnerships. I mean, a bank is squeezed from both sides. Then I said, we have to change it. Who are you? What do you know what to do? What is the need of the market? And then we came a new definition. We are a financial services institution. And that exploded, guys. We added Charles Schwab brokerage to the bank, insurances, private banking, we call it Bank of America, cash movement. Moving money around from individual to individual, from individual to company, from company to company, from company to individual. That whole flow of money serving the treasurers of companies. And then we have mortgage banking and we have discount banking. Wow, it exploded once we redefined who we are. After you know who you are, what's your business model? What business are you in? What business are you in, for goodness sake? Who the hell are you? Most companies, by the way, don't know. Maybe because I'm always invited to companies in trouble, so maybe I'm just biased. Then you say, okay, if that's who we are, how is the environment changing that's going to give us opportunities to the threats? And in light of it, what are our oppor threats? What are the opportunities? What are the threats? Then the next question is, which of our values has to change because they do not apply anymore to the new environment we operate in? That's another oppor threats. You take all these oppor threats and you write a mission. Our mission is to address these oppor threats in the next 3 years. And next year we are going to read the mission and we are going to say, a little change. It's called rolling. You always look 3 years ahead and every year you adapt it. So you're always looking ahead and analyzing. That's the mission. Vision is different. Vision is, if we achieve our mission, how will we look like? Visualize it. It's called the power of visualization. Describe to me how the company is operating. Repeat it several times until it gets embedded in your consciousness. Like you visualize it, you can see it, that's why it's vision. You have to be. You cannot, bureaucrats don't start a company. You have to be entrepreneurial, visionary, risk taker, dreamer. Or I love it the way Shimon Peres said it. People that don't fantasize never do fantastic things. I love it. People that don't fantasize never do fantastic things. So you have to fantasize. If you read my book, I really would like to recommend my books to you guys. I have 23 books. In this case, about the styles. I told you managerial styles. I recommend to you to read The Ideal Executive, Why You Cannot Be One and What to Do About It. Management Mismanagement Styles. And the best of them is the third one, Leading the Leaders. How to work with a P-type, with an A-type, with an E-type, with an I-type. Each one of them, if you don't handle it right, you get into trouble. And I'm showing you how to do it right. How to work with people who are different than your style. But the question that you're raising now is in the book called Managing Corporate Life Cycles. Let me give you an analogy so you will get the answer from the analogies. How you raise a baby is not what you do with a teenager, and you don't do with a grown-up adult. Because if you continue babying them, like some mothers will baby a 40-year-old son, oh my God, she's suffocating him. You treat a 40 like he's 40, and you treat a baby like he's a baby. Don't treat a baby like he's mature, and don't treat a mature person like he's a baby. What does it mean? We need to change our managerial style as the company advances in the life cycle. So, if you're an entrepreneurial founder and you cannot change your style as the company is changing, you're going to be kicked out, or you're going to kill the company. You're going to suffocate it like a mother suffocates a 40-year-old son, treating him like a baby, totally dependent. But this change is not just change your style. One morning you get up and say, today I'm going to have a small mouth, big ears. No. There's a whole process. First you have to change the structure of the company. Because as a founder, as entrepreneurial, I can tell you how the company is structured. According to your priorities, according to your biases, according to what you like, what you don't like, and the people you like and the people you don't like. Very, very custom made. Now when the company gets beyond go-go into adolescence, you better systematize it in the right sequence. The mistake many founders do, they get that the company is more complicated and difficult. They cannot solve the problems. They get tired and they say, I need a professional manager. And they bring it in. And then the fight starts. The poor professional manager is between the rock and the hard place. Above, he is a founder telling him, do this, you're not doing the right things. And down there, he has a people resisting change. And he's in the middle. Poor guy. So what happens? They fire him. Next one, fire him. Next one, fire him. Because they're not doing it in the right sequence. They're not doing it in a systematic way. And if the founder, Domino Pizza, I did it with Tom Moynihan. That's why it grew from 150 million to 4 billion when he sold it. First, he was a founder. He was running everything. First, we did a mission. Then we did a structure. And I brought in a guy to run a piece of the structure. The P part, the A part. Tom was running the E part. Then we brought somebody to run the E part, slowly easing him out. Well, it's still controllable because this is baby. Founders are always scared of losing the baby. We're teaching him how to be in control without being involved every day. And that's why he bought the Tigers, the Detroit Tigers, the baseball, this, and then he sold it off in a very structured, systematic way. So the answer to your question is, can a founder, entrepreneur be a CEO? Yes, if they can change. No, if they cannot change.